We don't want to talk about the toxicity of family backgrounds. We don't want to speak and enlighten people that, you know what, sometimes our family are those people that are really eating us up.
Naive, I remember asking my mom, hey mom, by the way, instead of even traveling all the way to Nairobi, see, the other thing with society, the society is harsh.
I'm very glad that nowadays we have accepted the fact that the same attention you give to physical health is what you are supposed to give to mental health. I remember back in the day, when you had people talk about their mental health struggles, you had people calling them bonkers, and we were looking at the spiritual aspect and thinking these people are bewitched, these people are not okay, we'd go to the herbalists, we'd go to churches for people to get delivered. But now you've understood that mental health issues are real. Back in the day also, if you can imagine these two scenarios, a person going to hospital, being admitted for a physical ailment, let's say I've broken my limb, I'd have people come to see me and they'd have flowers and get well soon cards. Just look at a person with mental health struggles. You'd have nobody paying them a visit. You'd have nobody checking on them. Because sometimes you want to imagine if there are no physical manifestations, then somebody is not okay. And this is one of the narratives that you want to undo. Another aspect of mental health, we all come from family backgrounds. I mean, you're born into this world and you just get into a family and these people nurture you. These people are the first example you know about love, about relationships, about conflict resolution, about communication, basically everything about you. But these same families could be the reason why you're having mental health struggles. But this is something we are not able to talk about. We don't want to talk about the toxicity of family backgrounds. We don't want to speak and enlighten people that, you know what, sometimes our family are those people that are really eating us up. We would rather just keep silent. And let me tell you something. Silence does not keep a family safe. Silence keeps the family sick. With me today, I have a beautiful lady on set, and she's bold enough to tell us her story. So I'm going to invite her over for us to know about her, and just let's go with the flow and see how it turns out. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Jackie. I'm Mary Kendi Mwade. Yes, I'm 26 years old, a mother of one, proudly. And I'm here today to talk about mental health awareness, more of raising the self-awareness in mental health.
Yeah.
And I am delighted. And yeah, so we can start. So back in 2016, that's when I became officially someone's mom. And at that period of time, I was 21 years. That's when, you know, young adults go to, you know, the transitioning between high school and then you have to go back to, you know, to college or to university. So I joined my college, and when I joined my college, in the middle of my schooling and all that, that's when I fell in love. I know most of you are thinking, okay, why did you go to school?
At
and
21.
Yeah, 21. So I went, I met this man, and I fell in love, love at first sight. And I did, after a few months actually, I realized I was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you can imagine 21 years old and having a baby. I mean, a baby having another baby, right?
Technically, so.
Yeah, so it was really hard for me. I mean, at that moment, it didn't really sink in that, you know, motherhood is, you know, tough. But somehow I maneuvered my way, and I delivered my baby in Kenyatta National Hospital. And by God's grace, it was a safe delivery. And I had my baby. And so I had to go back home. You see, I came to Nairobi because I had qualified to come to, you know, to join a college. And so my parents, they were bringing me, actually they were supporting me to come and school, not to like have a kid. So I had to go back home, and that's when it hit me that whatever I was running actually from, you know, I had to go back there.
Oh my.
Yeah. So at some point it hit me when I was delivering my baby. And I realized, people really don't talk about motherhood at a young age. So it hit me like, I don't know anything. I don't know how to be a mom. I don't know how to be someone's mother, actually. Now, how am I going to begin? And you know, the thing is, my parents were in a medical, you know, career-wise, they're people who know, you know. And I didn't know myself. I didn't know anything, you know. I didn't, like, it didn't hit me, like, how does breastfeeding go? How do people deliver? At that time, I didn't think I had a phone that had access to the internet. So it was really like something, I'm starting something very raw.
Yeah.
So to me, I think at some point, because I was so naive, I remember asking my mom, hey, mom, by the way, instead of even traveling all the way to Nairobi, so you could just help me deliver my kid here, right here at home.
Yeah.
And I remember them laughing, and they were laughing at me and asking me, how now? How? You know, for them being medics, they knew the process and everything. So me, I thought, you know, you just deliver your kid, you have your kid.
I mean, you thought there was no big deal to it?
There was no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I am, okay, this is now, after having my kid now, you can imagine, like, what I saw. It was really scary, like in the labor room and everything. Everything was, oh my goodness, I never want to, like, go back there. Yeah, so I was traumatized.
Were you all alone in all this, or you had someone with you?
I had my parents with me and
Alright.
a few sisters of mine, so they took me there. But you see, when you're in the labor room, you're all alone.
Yeah, you're all,
you know, there are those visiting hours, and then there's a period, you know, you have to go back, whether you're a guardian or a sister or whoever, you have to go back. So that is when it hit me. Kumbe, I'm alone. I'm all alone. Taking you back, kidogo, remember I had someone who loved me. So I expected that person to be there with me, okay? And he was never there for me. Actually, in that whole state, like, he was just never there for me.
Did he know that you were going to have his baby?
He knew. He actually knew of the delivery date and everything. So it was a trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. You know, the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So here I am, delivered by kid, the trauma I've seen in the labor room. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what women go through. I mean, this is what my mom went through. I mean, I wish she could have told me this is what happens in the labor room, you know. I could have psychologically prepared myself. But the strength in me, you know, strength of a woman.
Yes.
So yeah, we go back home, and the transitioning was, well, it was really scary for me. From breastfeeding to doing everything changed. My life changed from there. I was this young girl with dreams. I wanted this, I wanted that for myself. Now back to being, you know, in quotes, reduced to being a mom, somebody's mom. Okay.
When you say you were being reduced to someone's mom,
Yes.
it feels like this distorted everything. Like,
Yes, it did. It did. It for sure did. So I take care of my baby, and in between that, I realized that somehow my family is, the way they used to look at me, things are changing. Pole pole, things are changing. Okay. So I come from I used to, you know, my family used to be very warm and all that, and now I'm at home full time. Okay, now being someone's mom, you know, there are things that I'm expected now to transition from. It's a bit hard for me to digest all that at that period of time, but I have to. I'm forced to. Okay, so I level up to, you know, to that point, and I face my fears. It was more of like facing my fears now in this whole thing, like, you know, being a mom.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized my family, they're not warm anymore. They're just like more of condoning me, you know. They have to condone me, like, yeah, you know, we just have to. I mean, where else? What are we expected to do? You know, it was really crazy, but I thank God. I you know, after everything, you know, I overcame. Yeah, I made it. So the mental health, psychological disturbances came in. That's when they, like, hit me up. You know, when you're a mom, and then in your mind there's something motherhood changes in a woman. Okay, there's love.
Yes.
You know, we all see that love. We all talk about that love, but we don't want to talk about the other side of it. We don't want to talk about the stress. We don't want to talk about the fears. We don't want to talk about the pain, because everybody wants, you to be like, hey, thank God you have your kid delivered safely. Thank God this, thank God this. But I'm not allowed by the society, by my family, by my friends to talk about the other things, the dark
the
side.
anxiety,
Yes.
the intrusive thoughts that you get,
Exactly.
the feelings of helplessness,
Exactly.
and you're looking and thinking, oh my God, where do I start from here?
Yes. So that is what I was going through at that period of time.
Yeah.
And remember, mind you, I was just 21 years old, so you can imagine.
You're technically still an adolescent, you know that?
Yes, I'm still a kid. My mind hasn't, it doesn't have the capacity to absorb all that, to be very honest, at that time. So things start to change. Okay, I'm expected to do this, I'm expected to do that, I'm expected to, my time, my schedule, everything changes. And that's when I realized, like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And in that environment, I can't speak up. I can't talk about it. I'm just allowed to, go left, go right, go north, Basically, I felt like my voice, I didn't have a voice. I was silenced. I was silenced. I was just expected to be grateful that you have a home. Be grateful that you have food. Be grateful that your kid has this and that. But for me, as a mom, I feel like I'm the most, it's like I'm alone, like I'm basically alone. So I manage to, to take care of my baby and all that. And then it got to a time when I remember this particular night when I was breastfeeding my kid. I was seated, and I remember looking at my kid as if she's the reason why, she brought me all this. Like it's like you're a bad luck. You're a bad luck. You're basically a mistake in my life. So all the love I had for her took another turn to, I hate you. Like, why did I have you? I mean, I had other options, but why did I keep you? And I remember when I was breastfeeding my kid, in my mind, whatever was running in my mind was, I cannot do this anymore. It's taking everything I've really worked hard for. I should be in Nairobi doing some other things. I should be taking care of this and that. But here I am taking care of a baby. Okay? So I remember at that time when I was breastfeeding my kid, I knew in my mind that I'm going to run away from home. I knew I'm going to leave this kid behind and go and run and just never come back home. Until now she's grown, that's when I'll just come back. But the thing with motherhood is love. Motherhood is sacrifice. Motherhood is, going against all odds. Yeah. I found love in that situation. Whatever I was looking for from my family, I found in that was the perfect moment of me coming to a realization that this is love. This is pure love, because I'm not even struggling to love this kid. Okay? So I decide, no, this is not how I'll do it. I'll stay. I'll stay here. I will take care of you. Against all odds, I will do it. So it got to a point where things were not really going well psychologically for me. It was like one day I'm okay, the next day I'm worse. The next day I'm okay, the next day I'm not.
Let me ask you, before you proceed, in these moments that you're having these thoughts about your child, I mean, you still love her even when you're having those intrusive thoughts.
Yes.
And it's beautiful that you're able to overcome. Were you able to tell someone the kind of stuff that you are going through?
Not a family member, not in the family tree, because whenever I will speak about it, they will think, maybe you're not grateful enough. You should be grateful. Some don't have homes. I mean, you could have given birth, out there. We could have decided and thrown you out, But there was this notion that, I had to be, grateful. Yes, I was grateful, but I was not okay psychologically. It is not okay for me to speak up. It is not okay for me to say, oh, I feel like I'm not okay, I need someone to talk to, And being around medics, I mean, medics they've done something to do with counseling. Yes. So I really expected them to, to counsel me. Yeah, to be there.
To even notice, because I can imagine
exactly.
in those moments, your demeanor must have changed. Your way of relating with people must have changed.
Yeah.
Is there nobody who mentioned that?
Nobody mentioned, but I thank my mom, because my mom noticed. My mom knew my struggles, but being a mom, being a mom in that particular home, and then there's another, me mom. So it was more of a challenge for her to, to side with me every time. Mom, I'm like this. Mom, I don't feel this. No, she had to make me, this is what women go through. This is what I went through, bringing you up, So I was taught to, it's like I was taught to like, yeah, it's okay not to be okay, but at the same time, just go whatever you're going through, just find a way for you to survive.
So they normalized your situation.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes through that.
Everybody goes through that. It's not a big deal. You will just overcome. At some point, you will get used to it. And that made me feel it made me feel like, it's not worth it. One time you feel I'm okay. The next time you're not okay, I'm okay, all that. And at a particular point, I thought of, now because of this and that and, whatever transpired, I need to be out of this place. I need to be out. This is family, this is love, but I don't feel that love anymore. I feel like so much is expected of me, but the love I want to receive, I'm not getting that. And I felt like I'm draining myself because having this baby made me like I'm giving too much, and I'm not receiving. I'm not receiving, so I wanted to go out there and maybe probably someone would understand, or someone would, all this. So I started looking for people around home. I started looking for people in church when I went to church with my baby. And then the other thing with society, the society is harsh. Even in churches, once you get a kid, it's harsh. It's just so bad. You go with your kid. Maybe you've just healed your psychologically. You're in the process of healing, and then you hear these mean comments from people in the church. Okay,
where you're supposed to feel safe.
Where you're supposed to feel that love and that's safe. But we find people like looking at judgmental, being all judgmental, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I messed up again. So basically, you're telling me like, oh, you and your kid, you don't deserve to be here. Probably, you sinned. You're a sinner. You're not supposed to be in the church. So it was really a big challenge, even to friends. I had so many friends. You can imagine losing like almost all my friends because they had, now you're someone's mom. How do you want us to relate with you? When I want us to talk about, let's go for something nice. Let's go for, all that fancy stuff, and then I mention, I can't go. I have a kid. They find like, you're boring. You are boring. You are where tuachane na where you see. So in that state, you find like, first of all, psychologically you're not okay, and then you're very super lonely. Super lonely. You can imagine. You're super lonely. You have to show your kid you're okay. Okay? You have to show everybody, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine, but you're not fine. You're not fine. You're not even close to be fine. So I maneuvered my way, and my kid is grown. She's 5 years, but I can tell you, like, it's up to where we are right now. Me being Mama Myra, up to where I am right now, I never healed completely. I never healed, and I know the source of my, my psychological, disturbances. I know where it started. It started with me being, not receiving the kind of support I really needed. And in this context, the support was more of, like sharing, understanding, that love I needed. But all what I got was, you're supposed to be grateful, material things. So right now, when I see it, and at least I can say that I know that the journey has been like this, and I can actually speak about it.
Yeah,
I'm really glad. I'm really grateful. I can now mentor others and actually tell them, like, it's okay for you to be like this. But if you would have taken, and if there's a way possible, you could have taken another route and not necessarily the route I took myself, then that will be wise of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I struggled, and I still struggle with with my mental health, because it gets to the funny thing about struggling psychologically, it begins from the inside.
Yeah.
You don't get to see it on your face. You know, you can wear a facade, and everybody will be like, hey, congratulations, I'm seeing your babies. And the most funny bit is, the most good thing about it all, my baby was super healthy. So everybody thought, huyu msichana ametulia.
You guys are okay.
Yeah, we are okay.
Yeah.
You know. But deep down in my heart, I did it for love. I did it for the love of this kid, because I needed to. I had to, because myself, whatever I was looking for was love, and I found love in that baby. So I had to give her whatever I was looking for. I found it in my baby. And being a 26-year-old right now, it never stops. The psychological battle and all that, it never stops. I'm not 100% healed, but at least I'm happy because I'm self-aware of what I went through, and I'm still going through. It's more of a process, but I'm in charge. You know, it's not in someone else's hand, but it's in my hands now. I can control that. In as much as sometimes it's really bad, because you can imagine waking up to suicidal thoughts. That's crazy. It didn't just start one day. You know, I just want to die. No, it's something that started kidogo kidogo.
It's progressive.
It's progressive. And then one day you're like, why, Mimi, I think I cannot take all this. I cannot take all this. Maybe you would have done it better huko nyuma, but you guys didn't do it. So even if I really want to forget it, I can't. It's stuck in me. It's really stuck in me. So my motherhood journey, it hasn't been all roses and sunshine, but you can, if you want to find the strength in any struggles you go through. I mean, there's always that side of you that has to be in control.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you have to be in control of the situation. In as much as nothing really happens, I mean, a bigger percentage doesn't work for you, but there's always that 10% you can decide, me, I'm focusing on this, me, I'm focusing on my happiness, me, I'm focusing on the better, you know, all that. And right now, if I look at my journey and my progress, I can say that I'm a happy soul, knowing that I went through something that was meant to, you know, to destroy me completely, psychologically, mentally wise. And it didn't get me underground, you know. I'm really grateful. And
you're here talking about it.
And I'm here talking about it like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. It's like, you know,
nothing.
Let's sip tea and talk.
Yeah, let's sip tea and talk. So it's a good feeling. And what made me, as I started talking about, you know, my story, I thought I mentioned I am a counseling psychologist. I am in my second semester, and to be very honest, nobody told me, Eti, go back to school and do counseling, psychology. Don't go. Maybe probably most parents would be like, because now miaka imesonga, you know, we are thinking like, okay, you gave birth before finishing your studies. Now, how about maybe you've realized that you want to do something better for your life? Then here we're giving you choices. What are you going to choose? Maybe some will say, me, mom, I've decided, I want a good life. Me, I will do something, you know, like clothes, ginini. So Mimi, I just decided, how about I take this counseling psychology course? And to be very honest, when I started this course, I felt nothing but it was something very mutual. It's like it's like a course, but it's a friend. Yeah. Every time I'm signing myself in class, I'm learning something. Yeah. I'm learning something. Kumbe, these people did this because they were also insufficient of this and this. Kumbe, they also lacked something. It's only like that they didn't know. Now me, I know. Yeah. Me, I know, this is what you are going through. You could have seek therapy, but because you're not self-aware, no, I'm even pitying you more. You know, I'm pitying you more because here I am knowing what is eating you, and here you are, you want to eat me. Now me, I can solve your situation, but you have first of all to calm down and realize that I'm like this and like this. Okay? Yeah. So my journey in counseling, psychology as a course, not as a practicing counselor, as a course, it has really it took me from a very dark point in my life to a point where I can speak up.
Yeah.
I can speak up. I can actually say, this is what I was going through. At some point I was suicidal. At some point I wanted everything to end. At some point I was blah, 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 1, 2, 3. But I can now, you know, speak up and actually talk about everything I went through without being ashamed, without not really caring about what the society will say.
I like that. I like that because, you know, once we embrace our story and we speak about it, it lessens the shame attached to it.
Correct.
I mean, most of the time, it's the shame that keeps us quiet because we don't want to feel insufficient.
Yes.
We don't want to feel like we could have done better.
Yes.
But when you speak about it, it's liberating.
Yeah,
For lack of a better word.
Kabisa, and you actually heal.
Yes.
You know, maybe I'm at 70% healed, and then when I talk about it, maybe I'm like 80%, you know, processing. It's being processed to, you know, to maybe 100 someday.
Yeah.
So it's really, I would advise young, you know, young mothers. Right now, I'm really focused on young, innocent, naive ladies. You might want something for yourself, and then there's you being so focused. And then somehow in between something happens, you know, sometimes we really are not, in as much as we feel like we are in control of our lives, but also sometimes something just happens.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
And you also have to accept that. You know, what made me, a part of what made me heal was accepting that I messed up.
Oh, yeah.
I did mess up, but I'm not going to like stick there and continue telling it me I messed up. Now I'm like this one. I accepted my situation, and then that's when the healing started actually happening. Yeah.
And you know, if you speak to most counselors, they will tell you they have a story.
Yeah.
We call counselors wounded helpers.
Yes.
You know that,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I'm smiling and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I know whatever you might have gone through may not have been ideal.
Yes.
So we are not saying God made it that way so you can be where you are today.
Yeah.
But that experience has shaped you into who you are today.
Yes, indeed. It has shaped me. And I don't really attribute to my healing necessarily to being religious. I attribute it to being, you know, just self-aware of whatever you're going through.
That's
you don't have to say it was God who, a part of that, yes, it was, you know, impacted by God. But a part of it was the fact that I realized, like, this is what is eating me. This is what I have to accept, the dark side of it. I have to accept it, and then the healing has to begin. And through that, you find your way, and now you can even, you know, talk about it without shame, without, you know. And that is beautiful.
That's beautifully said.
Yes.
Let me ask, you said you're in your second semester, I believe first year?
Yes.
I believe you have done self-awareness.
I have.
How was that journey for you?
Oh my goodness. As I said earlier, my journey with the counseling course itself. You know how right now we are talking. No, that's how I felt. I felt connected with the course. A friend in a course. Every time we had to take this unit and learn about it, I felt like, wow, I'm realizing something about myself. I'm realizing the trauma that I had. I'm realizing what was eating up my family members. I was realizing what is eating my own parents up. And I can talk about it loudly and, you know, without any shame. Now the self-awareness part was, it had, you know, it was something that made me feel a bit, I was taken back. It made me feel like, it's too heavy for me to take, and it's also what is necessary for me to take. Just realizing, coming to a realization, and then the healing progresses. So it gave me there was a good side of it, and also there was this other, you know, heavy side.
There's a painful bit of it.
Yes. Just learning, realizing that these people made me go through all this. When they themselves they had the knowledge about it.
Sadly.
They had the irony in that, you know. They had the knowledge about it, but you actually made me go through all this. Why did you do it? Do you know the damage? Do you know the harm? Do you know the trauma? So it gave me, it was really a tough one, but I thank God because I'm here. I can talk about it. And being in control.
You know, the sad thing about having to go through this is sometimes you may not have control over what happens in these situations. Like now, you just, you know, a 21-year-old, you found yourself in a situation And probably it's because you didn't have proper mentorship. You didn't know,
Yeah.
if I go this direction, this could happen. If I
Yes.
take this direction, this
Yeah.
could happen. But at the same time, you had a family and they had a choice to do things differently.
Yeah.
And I've heard you severally say they didn't come through for you. They didn't give you the love you felt like you so much deserved.
Yeah.
If you were asked in your own words, what would you have wanted them to do differently?
I would want them, me being a seventh born in our family, I have a sister behind me.
All right.
And what I will, maybe they didn't do exactly what they were supposed to do to me,
Yeah.
but for her, being a lady,
Yeah.
I would want them to not just see how parents talk about, hey, sit here, we talk about, there's no sex, you don't have to engage yourself in, relationships at a very young stage.
Yeah.
But remember, pregnancy can get you at 30 and even, at 21 or even at 17.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't have to sit me up as a parent and just tell me like it is the sex education peke yake inatosha, And in that sex education, like there's something that you're living.
Yeah.
There's something that you're living. Are you a friend? First of all, are you a parent only? Am I your friend? Being a parent and a friend at the same time, I think that will save a lot of, early pregnancies, or rather maybe how we say in Kiswahili, like kuteguka na kuanguka, it will really save up to, something. It will save that young girl that is, in a relationship with someone. Maybe even if you're in a safe relationship, you can actually go back to your parents and tell them, yeah, me mama, ama me baba, me this guy of mine, ama this, lady of mine, ako hivi na hivi, there's that connection, there's that friendship.
Yeah.
But if I just see a parent in you, I just see a parent and a disciplinarian, I will never approach you, no matter how much you try to counsel me, to give me those words, wise words and all that as I proceed to another stage in my life. I will never really like look at you as a friend. So even if I was going to mess in another different town, I will like want to cover it up.
Yeah, of
just
course,
to cover it
you don't
up.
want to be exposed to their harsh
and then
comments.
and then there's something about covering it up and not having friends as parents. You become a liar, an expert. Actually, you just become like this one liar that how to fix lies here and there, and eventually they eat you up and they also eat the system up, being the parents. So you end up like having a loss and at the same time having a loss, and then anger is triggered, and then other bad things, they start happening. And then when they happen, now you have to live in a very toxic system. You live in a very
because it's one thing bottled up after the other. Dynamics are being changed.
Can you imagine?
There's nothing clear.
There's nothing clear. So what I would advise all parents, whether old ama new ama, a parent is a parent, just be friends with your, be friends with your kids. Just don't show this lion side of you. Also, shuka chini kidogo.
At least engage na mtoto wako.
Engage with your kids.
There's something nowadays that you're calling responsive parenting or intentional parenting or mindful parenting. And this is exactly what you're talking about. Because even in my days, sitting down with your parent for them to tell you about sex, where?
Yes, where?
How?
And how?
I mean, and these things we just learned as a matter of experimenting. Or you would have those kids who are cool kids and they bring magazines to school and that's how you go to learn there's something like sex. And, but that's not how it's supposed to be, because I want to believe if my parent is my friend, if I'm able to talk to my parent about anything, even the kind of relationships I'm having at school, even with my girlfriends, the kind of relationship I have with my teachers, it would make a difference.
Kabisa.
So I'm picking it like you are an intentional parent as we speak.
Yes, I am.
And you're going to raise your baby girl in a totally different way.
A very different way.
Yeah.
Kabisa. Kabisa, because I realized that is actually the source, the root of all of my trauma. Even as a 26-year-old, I still go back there. I still have to go back there. You can imagine. So it's really bad. And there are even 30-year-olds. They're bitter with life. You start engaging with someone, and then you realize, there's this part of this person that is just not adding up. Kumbe it's their childhood trauma, and it always has a way of haunting you. So if parents, ama guardians, ama whoever is bringing up their kids, they have a way to getting to their kids and just taking care of that, so that when the growth happens, every stage happens, there's this peace within. You grow up, even if you lack, there's this peace and there's this self-love. Okay, because that self, if you're if you are growing and then you don't have self-love, it will be crazy, because how will you love other people?
No, you
and the
can't.
society is harsh. So that is, you can imagine getting out of one system
Yeah.
to another. You find huku nje sijui people are being mean with you,
Yeah.
huku people are not understanding you,
Yeah.
and then kidogo kidogo one person is, is no more. You've killed yourself,
Yeah.
because you just don't find that one thing that you missed out on your childhood. And that's very important.
And I think one conversation I was also having with a colleague of mine is, we want to run away from the fact that our childhood really affects the kind of people that we become. And
Yes.
everybody is like, but we turned out fine.
Yeah.
We are good. Really?
I think that is very hypocritical.
I know, right?
It's very hypocritical. Being a 26-year-old right now, I think the best thing you can ever do to to someone even older than you is just speak up. Be true to your story. Be true to whatever you've gone through. In as much as sometimes the society is like, feature, mambo ya familia ikae ndani. But to what extent? I mean,
At your own expense. Actually, you're the one who's suffering.
I'm the one who is suffering.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever come at you and tell me, oh, I know you are going through this. I've seen like suicidal thoughts. It's me. It's all about me going through that. Yeah. So if I speak up, a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 15-year-old can get something from that. Yeah, can actually say that it is okay not to be, to wear a facade.
Yes.
Just speak
Just
about
be
it.
you.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the thing I'm picking about you is, from your point of self-awareness,
Yes.
you're able to understand that you may not have called the shots back in the day. Like, you just found yourself in that family.
Yes.
You didn't choose to be born there. You
Yes.
didn't choose to be a seventh
Yes.
born. You didn't choose to be a baby girl.
Yes.
Ulijipata tu.
Nilijipata.
And you may not have been able to manage the situation or actually advise your parents on how you'd have wanted them to parent you, but you're making an intentional decision to make the changes now.
Kabisa.
Unajua ukiwa mtoto, unajipata tu kwa system.
Yeah.
Mzai ako hivi,
Yeah.
the mother is like this,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you guys just go with the flow.
Kabisa.
And then whether toxic or not,
Yeah.
whether healthy or not,
Yeah.
whether dysfunctional or not,
Yes.
you just go with the flow and
Yes.
you grow.
Yeah.
But when you begin to discover that, okay, they might have been the genesis of your problems, but do they have to continue?
Yes, that's a very good statement. Do they have to continue? This is where I'm breaking.
Yeah.
This is where I'm breaking the barrier. Whatever happens, let it happen.
Yeah.
But at least I've spoken about it.
Yes.
At least I'm raising that self-awareness. I'm speaking about it, and someone will heal from it. Someone will actually take the courage from me and take it to their kid, and even in the LA, it becomes a whole system. A whole system that is not dysfunctional. Because right now at home, I believe I'm the most outspoken sibling in that family.
Out of the 9?
Out of the 9, I speak more.
Wow.
When you do this to me and I don't like it, I will speak. And the funny bit is, hey, Mimi, you find that, yes, you're the 7th born, but your elder siblings, kwanza, wow, they don't even realize like how messed up they are. You start talking about something, now they want to attack you. They want to attack you. Wewe unachoma, ama wewe mbona uliambia mtu fulani hivi na hivi, couldn't you just keep it to yourself? Wow. And then it becomes like a whole wrangle in the family. Now you have to fight. So you this say this,
no.
And in that mix, you are the only person that is sober. You are the only sober person. Actually, this is what is eating you up.
Yeah.
I'm giving you an opportunity to to be free. Speak up. I'm giving you an opportunity to heal, but it's so deep that they can't even notice. And even if they know, they want to cover that.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be spoken. Let's maintain the image of the family. Is very important.
Yes, and it is very bad because it goes to an extent of fighting. Can you imagine having a family that at this age right now, you have to physically fight for you to air out your views? That is very bad.
No, that's not ideal.
That is very bad. That's why I'm very confident in just having this conversation. And I know it might bring other two issues, but Mimi, I think that is the best choice I can make for me. And also even my kid will, one day will see like, hey, my mom was like this, she was, and that is the most beautiful thing. She will learn from me. Because even in the system myself, I bring my kid at home. Sometimes I pity her. Sometimes you tend to think, sasa mimi nilileta hii maneno, you know, I used to know like my family is like this. Why did I end up, you know, having another one there?
Yeah.
But it's very intentional for me to know, for me to make her realize that you might be in that environment,
Yeah.
but you have to learn from me.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm showing you, whatever I'm being very vocal on,
Yeah.
I want you to remember that.
Yeah. Oh.
When something is not okay, feel free. Talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not weird. To them it might be weird,
Yeah.
but for me, as long as I'm here,
Yes.
I will find a way. I will understand you. I will not mock your pain.
Oh,
Because
wow.
there's nothing worse in this world like mocking someone's pain. You're going through something and then you're like, hiyo peke yake. Why are you mocking my pain? I mean, that is very wrong. And families should stop being like that.
Yeah.
They should stop kabisa. Yeah.
In the ideal world or in the work world, this will come to be.
Yeah.
But you know, it only takes one person to break the cycle.
Kabisa.
And as you speak to me, I'm realizing it is you to break that cycle.
It is me.
And you don't have to do it for anybody else.
Yes.
It's for you and your future generations.
Kabisa.
And of course, as you do this, because you're also mentioning that you guys even fight about this secrecy stuff, it feels like they look at you as the black sheep of the family, because you're speaking out all the time. Kazi yako ni kuchoma tu, kazi yako ni kuta tu.
Yeah.
It's like
Kabisa.
badala ya ku appreciate ati the dynamics are you know, balanced out. Uko tu hapo.
Yeah.
You're speaking about things that need attention, but you are the cycle breaker. Yes.
Indeed, I am the cycle breaker. And there's something about number 7. You know, me being the 7th, but seven means complete in the Bible. And I believe I'm complete.
Wow.
I am complete. I am complete.
Wow.
Yeah. In all the, you know, afflictions you go through mentally wise, juku kwingine aje. I want to. I've always had this thing. Yeah, Mimi, I'm complete. I am complete. Whether you see this happening or this happening, I know it's okay not to be okay, and there's something about me being complete.
Yeah.
Okay. So about my family not really being, not being in line with whatever I'm raising my voice to.
Yeah.
They at one point in their lives, maybe when they are 60s, ama in their mid 60s, at one point they will realize, by the way, there was someone who really wrestled us to just, you know, to just wanting change.
Yeah.
To just desiring, like, can't you be different in a good way? Can't we do things differently?
That's true.
If this happened kwa kina nyanya na babu zetu,
Yeah.
why can't we change things? Are you okay every time like us fighting? We meet once in a month, ama twice in a year, and the very moment we meet, we have to fight over very petty issues, things we could sit and actually discuss about. But you find that there's this part where Mimi, I'm your big sister, ama Mimi, I'm a big brother, and whatever I'm telling you, you have to do it. But do I have to do something that I really see it on my point of view as toxic? So you're telling me it's toxic, now I have to do it, and my kid has to do it, and my small sister has to do it, just because you're, you know,
because
the elder
you're older.
sibling.
And you don't have to question anything, really?
And you don't have to question anything. As long as something is toxic, I'll address it, and whatever happens after that, I mean, as long as I addressed it, somehow, you know, you're going to remember, and I'm hoping one day, it is really my prayer that one day they realize that we have to also break this, because if they don't do it, it will eat up their kids and their kids' and like that, a whole generation that is toxic, a whole and in between that, sorry to say, you'll end up realizing that suicide is the only solution, because you'll find in that number that there's this one person that realizes this is not good, this shouldn't be done in this sense, this shouldn't be done in this way, you know, and now they will choose, because you're silencing me, now let me end it.
It's too much.
Suicide. And that's why you find in so many burials, like this, the family is taking over, alikuwa hivi, but the truth is, are you being honest with, you know, the
na wakati
society?
nilikuwa mbona mko mnaniambia niko hivyo?
Why are you telling me, why are you addressing like I was this person when I'm already in the grave?
Si nikiwa hai ndio mniambia I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am, you know, I am resourceful.
It starts in the family. All of, you know, problems as adults, as grandparents. Because you will even find someone who is 60, in their mid 60s, and they are, you know, when you dig deeper, it started there. Mama yangu alifanya hivi,
Yes.
ama mtu wetu alinifanyia hivi, na nilisema hivi akafanya hivi. So if we only had the courage and the guts and the confidence to say, this is ending with me.
Yeah.
I'm not taking this thing to to my kid. No, it's ending here. Whether it's in fight or whatever, it's ending here. You will know you will not cross this line anymore. Very intentional and very peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like putting your boundaries in place.
Exactly.
Because I also realize our excuse is my parents did this, my grandparents did this. But they did that because they didn't know any better.
Yes.
You know, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
So we also need to stop this excuse of hata mimi nililelewa hivyo.
Yes.
Did you like bila ulilelewa? Kama ulipenda ni sawa basi endelea.
Yes, true.
Na kama hukupenda, why can't you be the change that you want to see?
Be the change. Start that initiative of mimi hapana, familia kama iko hivi, mimi nimeamua hivi na hivi. And that doesn't mean, we tend to see it like this kid is rude. This is rudeness. Hii sasa ni ile inaitwa ukatili, And you realize like, hapana, mimi si mkatili, I'm not being rude. Voicing my voice, telling you like this, I feel like this, and I shouldn't be treated like this and this. It's not being rude.
Hapana, see, it's speaking your mind.
It's speaking your mind.
Lakini unajua kule ilikuwa ukiongea hivi
kiboko.
Yes, we was to be seen and not to be heard. So unaongea kama nani? Na mimi ni mtu mzima.
Kabisa.
Mimi nimeishi.
Yes.
I mean the kind of narratives you are given.
Yeah.
It's just pathetic.
It is pathetic. And as you grow and as you become more self-aware, you realize that now this is where it's ending. This is where it's getting cut. Kabisa.
Yeah.
And we have to take another route. We have to take another dimension of how things have to be done.
Yeah.
We are creating a warmer room.
Yes.
We are creating a warmer home.
Yeah, I like that. We are creating a warmer home. We are
Yeah.
creating a warmer environment so that people can just be their authentic selves.
Kabisa.
Because what we realize also as a result of being raised in this toxic environment, you shrink yourself
Kabisa.
because you want to be loved and accommodated by these
Kabisa.
people. So everything they want you to do without question you do.
Yeah.
But are you being yourself?
Yes.
Ama you're just conforming because you just want to be loved and accommodated.
Yes.
And I can imagine this was one of the struggles you had.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of that, you've taken me far away kidogo. There was this time, you can imagine being the seventh born and you're 9 and like out of that figure, like it's only one person that is addressing you. One person that is talking to you from asubuhi mpaka jioni. You're only talking to just one member of the family. The others, they've decided like, hey, now because you're like this and like this, we are setting yani kaka peke yako. Until ujue like family is everything. We will actually like, it was more of like a punishment. Ka peke yako.
Because you're not cooperating.
Yeah, you're not cooperating with how we want things done. Ka peke yako. And in that loneliness, in that solitude, now you will, you will shrink yourself and you will be lonely and you will be sad, and then you have to, me, I surrender now. Me, I've been lonely kabisa. Now me, I'm surrendering to the system. Now you do whatever you want. And ilifika point, I was very depressed. Actually, that was depression. I was not on any medication, but that is where now religion comes in. I think that is where God actually, I saw the mighty hand of God in my life. You can imagine in such an environment, like from asubuhi mpaka jioni ujaongea na mtu, it's really and it's not like the house is empty, like the house has people, but somehow because we've refused to cooperate, now enjoy your solitude, enjoy the loneliness. And then when you want now to, to surrender to the system, you come back, we accept you. And if we say we are going to the left, it's to the left. Don't question. Yeah. The questions you're having, just let them be psychologically, but do not dare, don't verbalize this. Yeah.
And that's such a toxic environment to live in.
It is very, it is bad. It is bad, and for whoever is going through this, don't feel like sometimes we find ourselves in a family setup that is, God said this. Ama, this is how the Bible wants us to live. No, even ndio kanisa inasema wazazi waheshimiwe.
Lakini hiyo basi inakuanga iko na another version of wasemangi.
Parents do not provoke your children into anger. But you find that the same parents, they provoke you. They will actually say mean things to you with them expecting that, we are tarudishia because, we will curse you. And then in Proverbs, there are deserved curses and then there's undeserved curses. Okay? So even if if I'm aware that if I'm aware that the Bible says this and this is how it goes, so even if you kind of scare me with, I'm going to curse you because you're being rebellious, ama you're being rude, ama you're not doing whatever I'm asking you to do, I will not shrink to that. I will not shrink to that. I'll say, okay, if this is what you feel like it's right doing, then do it. Then do it. Because at the end of the day, we all have rights.
We do. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a right to expression, freedom of expression. You express yourself. I'm giving you a platform to express yourself. Tell me how you feel. I tell you how I feel, and then we can like find a very warm and peaceful, environment. We can start somewhere. What works for you? What works for me?
Correct.
And then something has to be done. Something beautiful. Yeah.
I admire your boldness.
Yes.
I mean, to be able to speak about this and just tell me that, you feel like someone could be impacted by your story.
Yes.
Someone could identify with you and your story.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And
It is.
I can imagine if you'd not done the self-awareness course or if you had not started this self-awareness journey, probably ungekuwa hapa.
Singekuwa hapa, hata singejua if I'm suffering.
Yeah.
I didn't, maybe ningekuwa najua na suffer, but ni mimi nilijiletea suffering, so ni mimi nitaimaliza. Ama I will put it in their hands, like end my suffering.
Yeah.
No, it's not in their hands anymore. It is in my hands. Yeah.
Wow. So even as we come to the end, I think what you're trying to say is we need to normalize seeking help.
Yes.
We need to normalize seeking therapy.
Kabisa.
We need to normalize mental health.
Kabisa.
The same way we prioritize on physical health is the same priority we're giving mental health.
Kabisa. Number one.
Yes.
Number one. As you start, as you begin your journey, that is through, a kid and then transitioning to being a kid, to being, all the stages. It is always good to realize that aside from the love I'm looking for around me, the love is within yourself. Accept that this is, this is love. I love me first. And then after loving yourself, now you will know what to accommodate. You don't put yourself out at being my parents, you have to love me by force, because the parents who don't love their kids, and they will never tell their kids that mimi sikupendi. Sadly, it's sad because you grow up in an environment where a parent cannot tell you like mimi sikupendi, and you are their biological kid.
Anakuonyesha tu.
But whatever you will see in that environment, oh my goodness, that's why itaenda ikienda, and that's when you find that mtoto akikuwa mkubwa akuwe na familia yake, whether it's a male, unapata he can't even handle a family. He can't take care of a family because the road started from the home. We should verbalize. Yeta hiyo kusema I love you. To some parents it is very hard. They cannot say to me I love you. They might give you a gift or something, but even verbally, words have power, a lot of power. Just saying like I love you, it is very enough to heal every wound.
It makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. People don't want to actually accept that, but it does.
It just reminded me of something I usually talk about even in my parenting workshops. Children need and deserve unconditional love.
Yes.
Just love them simply because they are.
Yes.
Si ati unampenda juu ameperform vizuri, sijui ni mwerevu ama ni mtaidi ama kazi yake ni kusikiza bila kuquestion. Just love them as they are. Kabisa. They deserve that.
They deserve love.
And I wish we could just normalize that so that parents can understand. Hiki tu si mchezo. It is a dire need. And it is something that if you don't fulfill in your children, they'll go seeking validation from elsewhere.
And they'll never find that.
They'll never
find it. They will never find that. And if they go seeking validation from the outside world, it's already cruel. The society is harsh. You will zunguka, it will be more of a cycle, and then back to the source. And the source being the parent, the source being the guardian. So you find that, oh, Mimi, you're giving me pressure, but you don't want to dig deeper. Ni wewe ulianzisha. Mbona ulikuwa unajua but hukufanya? Why didn't you do it? So even parents, they have a very big role to play. Other than saying I paid your school fees, I took you to where I may have used all my resources on you. Really, there are major resources than that.
I hear you, but I want to believe that as we do this, as we talk about this and normalize this kind of conversation, people will learn and people will change their ways, because when you know better, you do better.
You do better, absolutely.
Now, in the interest of time, Mary, do you have a parting shot for us?
Oh my goodness, yes I do. I just want to finalize this by saying, if there's one course I would advise anyone to actually think of doing, oh my goodness, just go for counseling. Counseling psychology as a course.
Yeah.
Counseling psychology as a course, because that's where you will realize, you'll get a hint of who you are. You might know, okay, this is Kendi, this is what I like, this is what,
Yeah.
but you will realize something that, you know, you never really used to know.
Yeah.
Ama you will join dot A and dot B, and you'll be like, hiya, kumbe this is what was happening.
Yeah.
And that will be the start of a very beautiful journey towards helping the society, helping your family members at large, and even, you know, being just a blessing in the society. Yeah, so mental health is the first priority in every single thing you do. Yes.
You've heard it from our guest here. Mental health is a priority. And guys, remember, healing is the new cool. Seek help. Talk, talk, talk. Don't shy away from your problems. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Bye-bye.